Hello, guys. Welcome back to the Road to Emmaus podcast. Today, we are talking about the newest conspiracy theory, October 4th, the FEMA
Ooh.
alerts on October 4th. I know this one's going to be the next big thing. Oh, man. And we're going to really go through what all the conspiracies are all about, what people are saying. Is it factual? Does it have any biblical ground? Could this be pointing to the new persecution of the church? Shall no flesh be saved? As it says, or is this coming of the rapture? As I've heard people say, I've heard it all about this October 4th, but today we're gonna say, but is it biblical? Right?
Mhm.
That's what we're gonna say today. So, what have you heard about this, brother?
Yeah, October 4. At first, when you mentioned it to me, or you mentioned that somebody put down something in the comment section of another video that we made, somebody was referring to October 4. So I was like, what's with October 4? Is that another conspiracy thing? Is that another rapture date setting that's happening? So I looked it up
Yeah.
and I was like, okay, so there's going to be a test, of the emergency broadcast system. So so
Yes.
I'm like, so what? And then I look at um videos on X, on TikTok, on YouTube. So that's where all these all kinds of conspiracies are coming in. So are we about to
Yeah.
see you know World War Z?
Oh, a world oh, yeah, the World War Z, the whole zombie thing. Oh, that's another
Uh-huh.
thing. Yeah, I've heard
Yep.
about that. And
Yep.
and just take a second, a shout out to that subscriber that decided to drop us a link to the things
Mhm.
that we needed to look at. We really appreciate it, brother. You know who you are. The one who gave us the October 4th update alert. So we really appreciate that. And to all you other subscribers out there, if you have other things that you've been seeing that we haven't commented on yet, let us know, man. Let us
Mhm.
know, and we'll not only do a video on it, but we'll see if it's biblical, to see if it's something that we as a church really need to be worried about, really need to be concerned about, or something that we really should be talking about. So,
Mhm.
but going from there, let's start with what we got so far. So, the first thing, this FEMA report. That's what it is. It's basically just a report from FEMA. And this is just a big alert that they're doing. And it's interesting that they're doing this right after the failed FEMA alerts after the fire, the Maui fire.
Mhm.
I mean, they had one of the most advanced FEMA alert systems in the world was actually
Yeah.
in Maui
Yeah.
and failed. So, but this is what's coming October 4th. Go ahead and play the video, bud.
Well, get ready for an emergency alert test next week. FEMA and the FCC are conducting tests of their emergency and wireless alert systems next Wednesday, starting at 1:20 p.m. Chicago time. It'll happen even if there's a government shutdown. Test messages will be sent to TVs, radios, and cell phones. They're expected to last 1 minute. If widespread severe weather or other emergency issues force a postponement, the backup testing date is the following Wednesday, October 11th.
All right.
Okay, that's basically it. Just
Mhm.
just it's just a just a regular standard alert system. We get it all the time in America. But man, everybody's just going crazy over it because it could be something else. The
Mhm.
frequency, and there are some things that are odd about it. Like, why is it going for a full minute or 30 minutes? Right?
Mhm.
Why? Usually it's just send a text saying
Yep.
don't worry about it. This is just a test, and then that's it. But this is going on for like 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's strange. So what are they going to send out in a full 30 minutes? And why does it have to be 30 minutes? When, from time to time, like here in the Philippines, because we are prone to having typhoons, having uh, floods because of torrential rainstorms, we do get alerts like yellow or orange rainfall alert, red rainfall alert means that means rain is going to be really bad and there could be massive flooding around the metro. So we do get those alerts, but it's just it's just like for just what 5-10 seconds. That
Yeah.
shrill alarm, and then you get to read the alert about what they're trying to tell you. So it's really just that. So yeah, it's going to be strange for FEMA to be sending something for a full 30 minutes. So
Right. They
um
this one girl that we're going to show you. She was on TikTok, or not TikTok. I'm sorry, X. Right? Can't say
next.
Twitter anymore. All right, that's not PC. So I have to say X. But the on X, this one lady had the very weird way to go. Not really a Christian way to look at it, but
Mhm.
definitely a kind of spiritual way to look at it. And it's very interesting. And I think that we should talk about it at least for just a second. So go ahead and play that girl for a second. Let's play that real quick.
Responding to comment, 30 minutes is very suspicious. Why? This is in regards to the emergency alert system that's going to be tested on Wednesday, October 4th for everyone. At the bottom, I noticed it says that the phone's alert will be accompanied by unique tone and vibration. Let's talk about tones and vibrations. This here is a CYMA 1000. This is the machine I use. It is the basis of an app and a website that I have called Cymatones. And it plays 5 resonant frequencies through this vibrating speaker. So this is tones and vibration, just like the alert we were just talking about. And it's targeting different ailments or body parts to retune them back to a balanced and a harmonious energy body. See, our energy body's got all these different pathways, and if there's blockages in whether it's the water, because we're made of water, or in the energy pathway, then what that does is it causes a physical ailment. The physical ailments can be retuned by different tunes and tones. Back to October 4th. What tones and vibrations do you think the government's going to be playing for us? And why 30 minutes? The water in your body resonates to different sounds, tones, and vibrations it is surrounded with. And not only does it vibrate to that while it's hearing it, but it remembers it within 5 to 7 minutes. Dr. Gerald Pollack on YouTube is a great resource for water. So while my device plays tones and vibrations that promote wellness, what's playing on October 4th?
So that lady discusses a couple things that I don't really agree with. The whole
Yeah.
chakra thing and
Yeah,
all
yeah,
that kind
yeah.
of stuff.
Me too.
But I do find it interesting, like frequencies and what they do to the body, because we are
Mm.
mostly water.
Yep.
And because I mean, have you ever seen what was it, that video with the stars? You ever seen
Yes.
that one? Like
Yes. Yes.
with what sound does to water and how it can make it stars or little balls of light inside
Mhm. Mhm.
closed things of water. It's amazing what sound can do, especially to water.
Yep. Yep.
So I find it very interesting. Okay, what if the wrong frequency was able to
Mhm.
hit our bodies, which
Mhm.
was, what was it, 75% water? What would happen? What would happen? Like, how would we react?
Yep.
You know, the that's just not all. As far as her view on it, it actually goes a little bit deeper. Um,
Yeah, but let me just add, in terms of radio frequencies, it's a known fact basically that there are certain people who are sensitive to Wi-Fi signals, that they
right.
they did develop some sort of um, malady, some sort of illness. It's like an allergy that you really can't define, but they're very sensitive to Wi-Fi routers, other devices that emit Wi-Fi RF frequencies. So, in a way, that lady, probably for me, I don't believe in the chakra thing as well. But
No.
who's to say that maybe the radio frequencies, do and will have an impact on our health. It's just that not much science, not much research has been put into actually trying to find out what exactly does all of these frequencies. Because right now we're being bathed. It's like an ocean of electromagnetic frequencies that are passing through us from the cell towers, from our Wi-Fi routers, and everything. So who's to say how all of these will have a impact on our health long term?
Yeah, like if we would look into, yeah, exactly what 5G does, or
Mm,
even just what your router does. People, sleep next to their routers, or the routers is in the room or very close.
mhm.
You don't know what that does. And there's been studies on
Yep.
long-term effects of that kind of frequency going into your
Mm,
body and affecting your mind, affecting your blood, all
mm,
this kind of stuff. That it's very interesting. I don't know if I buy in it 100%, but if
mhm,
I wanted to talk about biblical, then I will know what happens when the frequency of God speaks.
mhm.
Galaxies are made, mountains are made,
Yep.
waters are
Yep.
separated,
Yep.
and life
Mm,
is able to form just at the speaking, and
yep.
that speaking comes
At
with
the s
sound, and
yeah,
that,
at the sound of his
yeah,
voice, yeah.
right.
There's a frequency to it.
Right. Yeah.
Yep.
And so and even like in Exodus, when God starts to speak,
Mhm.
everybody just like they start bowing down, and not because that they're like, "Oh, this is so amazing," but
Yep.
that it was so powerful. The frequency, whatever it was hitting, was
Mhm.
shaking them to the core, and they said to Moses, "You speak to this guy, because if he speaks again, we might die."
Yeah.
There was a
Yeah.
frequency that the Lord hits that
Yep.
just shakes the bones of
Yep.
everybody listening.
Yep.
So, and it kind of reminds me of how, like, okay, what will happen when Jesus comes and every knee will bow?
Mhm.
I don't think that's going to be a voluntary thing. I
Yep.
think that's going to be like an involuntary, that there's just nothing you can do about it. Everybody just
Mhm.
hits the ground because
Yep.
there's just nothing you can do about it. And so I do feel like that, like there's some validity in the study of frequency. I do.
Yep.
Um, but it goes even further when it comes down to what people are saying. When it comes down to the frequency of this, they said many are imploring their followers to shut off their cell phones
Mhm.
on the day of the test, because they believe it's part of a border conspiracy to exert control over the population. One popular video shows a woman claiming the test will somehow switch on technology that has been introduced into people's bodies. The
Ooh.
emergency, I know, right?
What technology is that that was
I know,
introduced into people's bodies?
I
Okay.
know. I think they're maybe talking about the procedure that we can't mention on
Uh-huh.
YouTube.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
the emergency broadcasting system under FEMA is going to be activated, the woman explained, speaking directly into the camera. It's not a test. It's going to be sending these high frequency signals into cell phones, radios, TVs. The intention of activating nanoparticles,
There we go.
including graphene oxide. In
Mhm.
another widely shared video, a man issued a similar warning, adding that graphene oxide and other nanoparticles have been inserted into billions of human beings around the world through obvious mediums. So now I'm not much for that whole conspiracy. Okay, I understand, and there are some, I've seen it all, guys. I've seen things that there are people that are in the comments that'll be like, oh, but did you see this? Did you see how, like, there are nanoparticles in the blood that people that got the procedure in 2020
Mhm.
or in 2021. Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it. And I know for a fact that if you are a believer, that the Bible says one thing, is that you can drink any kind of poison and it shall not affect you.
Mhm.
That's what the word says. And
Mhm.
so I'm a believer that no matter what happens, if you are um, procedured, let's just call it that, or not procedured, all right?
Okay.
I personally, I would never ever get procedured. I've gone
Okay.
all around the world and to many different countries without the procedure, and the Lord has protected my body in every aspect of the word. Never got sick,
Mhm.
and ate
Mhm.
things that ate and drank drank things that should have got me sick. But the Lord was my vaccine. It really was. But I would never do it. But I don't condemn
You said the
anybody who
V
does.
word, dude. You said the V word.
It's in context, okay? So
Okay.
all right, all right. But I don't judge anybody who has had that
Mhm.
at all. So, but one thing I will say is that yeah, there is a lot of things inside the procedure,
Mhm.
and yeah, it could definitely be reacting to different signals that I'm not gonna put that out. I'm not gonna put that throw the baby out with the bathwater when it comes down to that, because I can see how maybe that could be a factor.
Mhm.
But I do believe in one thing. I do believe in is predictive programming.
Yep.
And have you ever seen The Kingsman?
Yes.
Okay, um, this this scene.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Now I remember.
Remember that? Remember
Yep,
that?
yep, yep.
And for those of you
Mm.
two holy Christians that never have seen a movie like this,
Yeah.
and
We're
I applaud you
we're not
actually.
gonna show it here.
Yeah,
It's
no,
too
no, no, we're not going to show the
it's
scene.
too violent, too graphic.
Yeah. Yeah, this is one thing. I mean, I will say I watched these. I was into these movies before I was saved. So
Yeah.
but I remembered this scene where inside of a church, so a billionaire um, gives everyone a SIM card that gives them
Mhm.
free internet, free cell phone use. Everything's
Yep,
free. You can just have it, and
yep.
everybody lines up. Billions of people line up all over the world to get this free
Mhm.
stuff, right?
Yep.
But then they test what it was really all about, and it was to
Mhm.
send a frequency that drove everyone mad. And this
Yep.
would bring about the end of the world, that
Mm.
they would just kill each other. Everybody would kill each other.
Yep,
And this scene was in a church. Interesting how they put it in a church,
yep,
where it's like they were just sitting there, listening to the word, and then all
yep,
of a sudden the frequency goes off,
yep,
and they just end up killing each other.
yep.
And
Yeah,
so
so
even
so even peaceful people, we're sitting in church, attending a worship service, they would end up killing themselves mindlessly, robots, like zombies.
Right, violent zombies. Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
Just killing each other for no reason.
Mhm.
Even the main character, which was there to help and save, he
Mhm.
ended up
Yep.
killing all these Christians.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he couldn't help it either.
Yep.
And he says at the end of it, he's like, "What did you do to me? I couldn't
Mm.
control myself."
Mm.
And so I do believe in predictive programming, and that's what hit my mind when I saw this.
Mhm.
What do you think?
Yeah, but again, it's debatable. Because one, we really don't know what's in those things that was injected into the bodies of so many people. The manufacturers, the big pharma guys, they have been very secretive on what was inside of those things. They were actually trying to keep it secret from all of us for the next 75 years. But
Yeah. Well, they
because
wanted to
of,
tell you.
yeah,
They wanted to
big,
tell you
yeah,
just when you're all dead,
yes,
So
you'll know in 75 years.
your
But
grandchildren will know.
until then, it's going to remain a secret. But yeah, because of, was it up to the Supreme Court, or it's just like the federal court? But anyway, many documents were released, but unfortunately, many um like hundreds, thousands of pages of documentation were released but were redacted. Redacted meaning most of what was read on those pages were blacked out, so you couldn't, you know, basically it was useless information.
Well, Jules, they did tell you though. They just redacted it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
so
They
yeah,
they
so
told me
don't
that
be
they had it printed, they had it, you know, everything's in black and white, but you're not allowed to read it.
yeah, but they wanted to be transparent. So come on, man, give them credit. All right. Um, now here's another view on that. That's actually kind of interesting. That it's worth the discussion, I guess. This one, let me bring it up. Okay, this one, it says on here that on October 4th, 2023, the FEMA and FCC will conduct a nationwide test of the emergency alert system and the wireless emergency alert system. Wouldn't this be the perfect opportunity for hackers to tell the truth about what's really going on? Oh, the greatest hacker ever. Yeah.
Mhm.
No, you didn't think about that,
Why
did you?
not? No.
Yeah. So, that's it could be that maybe they're just trying to like say, hey, just when you get something on your phone, just ignore it. It's just a
Yep.
test.
Yep.
Just
Yep.
a test.
Yep. Yep.
Um, and
We're
for
not installing anything. Yeah. That's
no,
and and the fact that we need 30 minutes to do it. No, we're not doing anything. We're not, we're not
yeah.
installing anything in the background without you knowing. That's
That's another thing. I believe that really what I think this is going to be.
that's a good point. It's like a
Yeah.
Trojan horse. Yeah.
You're right.
So
Yeah, just have
yeah.
access to your phones.
Yep.
And that's what I believe more than anything else is that they're just making sure that they have full access to every single TV, every single phone,
Yep.
everything.
Yep.
That's what
Yep.
those emergency system
Yep.
things are all about. Just to check, make sure
Yep.
they got every single device online.
Yep.
I
Yeah.
believe that more than anything. Um,
Yep.
but
Could
there is
be
this
could be distract them with no, it's an alert system. So while
mm,
you're like looking on the alert system, you don't know in the background something is already being installed. So, you know, and then after 30 minutes you will be surprised that hey, we already have you tracked. And
yeah.
we will now be implementing the what's it called this? The social scoring system.
Mm. Oh yeah. And also for all you really deep-seated conspiracy theorists out there that listen to the cue boards, that's something that what was it? I think that one of the cue boards says that if everything goes dark, just know that we are in control and that we're taking everything back. So there is also another end of it that the Q people are always talking about over there
Mhm.
on the Q boards is that hey that there's going to be this massive blackout, a takeover, not to the bad but actually to the good, that they're going to take back the country, and there's going to be a blackout, and they're going to because the powers that be don't want you to know that something is happening, a takeover,
Mhm.
a regaining back control of the country from the evil powers is
Mhm.
happening, and the evil powers don't want you to know that they're being taken over. Yeah,
Mhm.
stuff like that. So that's a whole nother thing. But
The
let's
there's like a rabbit hole with a rabbit hole and another rabbit hole.
yeah, yeah. But what I want to do, Jules, is I want to come back down to earth. All right.
Uh-huh.
It's fun talking about all that kind of stuff, but let's get back down to earth and what this probably is going to be. Just to show you here, these tests have been happening for a while now. This one was in 2021, and this one was in 2018. It was the same exact test. Not for the amount of time, but
Mhm.
it's the same test. And so we've seen this test over and over and over again.
Mhm.
I would go along the lines of, guys, it's probably just going to be a test. It's probably more just to make sure that the system that they set up has access to your phone, and that's about it. Maybe even downloading something that just makes sure that they have an ability to track you, know where you are, grabbing data,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I
Nothing
I would
nothing harmful. Don't worry.
I don't think so. Hey, I could be wrong, but
Yep.
in this situation, I hope I'm right because, yeah, the other aspects are too brutal to think about, really. But the conspiracy theories that are out there for different things, we have to bring it back to the word.
Mhm.
Um, and what's really important during this time, and this is where it gets real. All right, we are need to be beyond all of that. It's okay to discuss and have an open conversation about things, but really what do we need to be grounded on, and that's the word. And so this is something that it brought up, and this is in Isaiah 8, all right, in verse 12 through 14. It says, do not say a conspiracy concerning all that this people call a conspiracy, nor be afraid of their threats, nor be troubled. The Lord of hosts, him you shall hallow. Let him be your fear, let him be your dread. He will be as a sanctuary, but a stone of stumbling and a rock of offense to both the house of Israel, as a trap and a snare to the inhabitants of Jerusalem. So understand where this this was supposed to be going is that
Mhm.
Israel and Jerusalem had gone away from the Lord and had started worshiping other gods. And this was supposed to be the conspiracies and all the things that the troubling times, they were supposed to be a snare to the wicked.
Mhm.
They were supposed to be the snare to those who rejected God. But you don't get wrapped up in all those conspiracy theories. Don't get wrapped up in there. What you should really fear is no conspiracy. You should fear the Lord. That the Lord should be hallowed, should be sanctified in your mind and your heart. Fear him. Let him be your dread, not any kind of test, worldwide test, a FEMA test, or the FEMA army
Mhm.
that is coming about. Because man, have you seen the FEMA army?
What's a FEMA army?
Oh, dude, FEMA is not a help service. FEMA is not there to help you. FEMA is an army. It has
Mhm.
more it has more uh um ammunition and
Mhm.
tanks and tactical vehicles than any other government agency that is protecting the homeland. It
Okay.
is it is all about, and FEMA is supposed to be just for emergencies.
Yep.
So really what it should have is a bunch of ambulances, a bunch of
Mhm.
food trucks, a bunch of water trucks. That's what
Mhm.
it should have. But
Yep.
instead, everybody is just mounted up for full out war.
Mhm.
So but even so, even this army that is directed at one thing and one thing only, the American people, don't fear that.
Yep.
Don't fear. That these conspiracies are meant to do one thing, and is to cause those who are wicked to stumble.
Yep.
So don't stumble. If you fear the Lord more than any other earthly thing, then you will not stumble at these things. You can
Mhm.
talk about them. You can have conversations like we are now, but really keep what's small small. And this stuff is very small. Even if it's true, it's still small compared to the coming of the Lord, compared to
Amen.
our God.
Amen.
So, but with that being said, what do you think, Jules?
Yeah, and even if, you know, 30 minutes, even if there's like a zombie apocalypse right after those that 30 minutes, um, any trouble in this world is really just like a drop in the bucket of eternity. Uh,
Amen.
compared
Amen.
to the length of time, the eternity that we will spend, um, is any trouble that you go through in this world is nothing compared to eternity. But what kind of eternity you will spend, whether you will be spending an eternity where there is no more pain, there is no more sorrow, where all your tears will be wiped away by the Lord God Almighty, or
Mm.
to spend an eternity in eternal damnation where there is no hope of salvation. It's really up to you. It's really up to how you deal with the gift that Jesus Christ is giving to you, the gift
Amen.
of eternal life.
Amen. And that's what we should be focused on today. I mean, not only don't fear them that can harm the body, but fear him who can harm the body and then throw it into hell.
Yep.
That fear our God, because he's a fearful God, but that fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, is the
Amen.
beginning of salvation. I mean, what do you
Mm,
have to repent unless you understand how beautiful and holy God is, how
yeah.
fearful and terrible he is? And also, greater is he that is in you
Mm,
than it is in the world. All these
yes.
conspiracy theories, greater is he that is in you. That's big. That
Mm,
that that is big. That we have a God that conquered the world, and he has given us his spirit, which is greater than
yep.
anything else that is going on in this world. Any
Yep.
conspiracy, any FEMA frequency, any vaccine, any kind of World War III, any kind of nuclear bomb, any kind of coming war, greater is he that is in you. So, with that being said, what do you guys think out there? All right, what do you think that's going to happen on October 4th? All right, let's start placing our bets in the comments below. All right, let's see what we guys think. What have you heard about October 4th that we haven't discussed? Maybe there's some hidden key. that we need to know. Maybe it has something to do with the rapture or the destroying of flesh, whatever it is. Just let us know in the comments below. Let's all have a good brotherly discussion about the coming of the Lord and these weird last days that we are approaching. So God bless you all. Thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe these videos. It helps us get the word out there of the gospel and also be able to tackle the algorithm beast that we struggle with every day. And don't forget to, leave a comment and let us know how we're doing on these videos. We love to hear your feedback. But until then, we will see you on the next one. God bless you all. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.